This is Ragin City. A special place on this earth. A place of the future where almost everything seems the same as some people once imagined it. Including one main strict rule: the prohibition of real dogs. But there was a boy who didn't want to follow these rules. His name was Hiraku, and he believed that real dogs should have their place in the society. He was also sure that once during his early childhood years he himself had a dog in his house, and this very real animal was the best friend he could ever have. Until one day the dog mysteriously disappeared, and the mother of Hiraku told him,
"Oh my dear, this was only a piece of a dream, the wild imagination of a little boy. There are no such things as real dogs here."
This is not true.
Hiraku would always say while wandering through the streets of Ragin City and looking at all of those soulless mechanical dogs who were released out there to protect the place. The boy never asked them about their ancestors because he knew that asking about real dogs was forbidden too. But he used to stare at the eyes of these robotic creatures and look for some real connection there. Hiraku believed this was a way for him to do a secret research about the original biological species they were based on. One night a wild storm appeared in the skies over the ocean nearby. Rain and lightnings took over everything. Thunders touched the souls of everyone around, including the citizens of Ragin City. Nobody knew that this unusual storm brought something to this place. It was on the next morning when Hiraku, who was just on his daily walk through the city streets, suddenly heard the magnetic voice of this same thing. Of this same woman.
"Hello, Hiraku."
The lady greeted the boy while her very long green hair was moving magically around her as she was standing in front of a modern car in a similar color.
"Yes, I am talking to you. My name is Rexalia, the younger sister of Teleandra, who is the fairy of all fairies. I came here because of your inspiring faith in real dogs. And in the dog you once had."
So this was a real dog? I didn't imagine it.
No, you didn't. But there's only one way to prove it. Only the touch of a fairy like me could open the path needed. A fairy like me and a faithful boy like you. In a special place not far away from here. Get into my car and we can go there.
Hiraku couldn't resist. It was risky for him to follow a stranger, but something made him sure that Rexalia was telling the truth. He hadn't shared his dream about real dogs with anyone, but somehow she knew, so he decided to get into her car. As they were passing through the uncountable streets of the metropolis, the weather got worse again. Nearly 2 hours later, Rexalia brought Hiraku to a street with many abandoned buildings, including some skyscrapers. Then she got off the car and took a few steps straight to the nearest tall building. As she was approaching it, her green hair got shorter and her dark dress changed its form. At the same time, a paranormal light appeared in front of her, and then the woman and the young boy saw a special glass elevator. When they got on it, it started raising even without a command.
Where are we going?
Hiraku asked as he looked through the glass walls. He didn't expect that the answer of Rexalia would be,
"We are already there. Just look closer at the other side, and allow your belief in real dogs to shine."
Hiraku once again stared at the outer surroundings of the elevator with that one forbidden thought of the real dog. And then, suddenly, something else appeared in front of his eyes. A bright field, full of dogs. Hundreds, thousands, millions of dogs in different breeds. The excited Hiraku couldn't see nothing else here, even his own body, but he could still touch the glass wall and hear the voice of Rexalia behind him.
Breathtaking, isn't it? These are all the dogs who have ever been loved by a human, lost into these fields of eternity. Your dog is somewhere out there too.
But how could I find it? I cannot pass the barrier of the glass between us. I cannot even see myself or my own shadow.
But you can still feel the call of your heart. This and the magic of the elevator will lead you to unique places. Just walk straight forward even when these fields disappear from your sight. Even when you don't hear my voice anymore and you are alone. It might take a long time. But at the end you'll find it.
The first thing Haraku saw a second later, when the field with the dogs disappeared, was a dog. A silhouette of a fully grown real dog with whom the boy felt unusual connection.
It is you.
He said as he approached the magical sphere in which the dog was standing. Soon Haraku entered this place himself. Actually, he merged with it. He continued walking even when the dog disappeared and everything around turned into many different mixed colors. Many extraordinary and captivating colors. Hiraku's journey sent him back to a futuristic city, but it was not Reijin City, nor its suburbs. There were no other people here and the boy could hear his own steps everywhere. On the next day, Haraku reached a field with no dogs on it. He remembered Rexalia's words and allowed his heart to lead him on the right path. This became his mantra through the upcoming days in which he visited many other places. He walked with confidence. Even when it was hard, even when the mist seemed scary. And while walking through all of these layers of time, this brave seeker of the real dog felt some changes. As well as he felt how closer and closer his final goal was. And one night he finally reached the place of his dreams. No, it was not a sunny place. It was not a shining field with millions of dogs. It was a dark building in a dark region. And Haraku was not the only one approaching its entrance. But when he passed through it, he was completely alone once again. Alone in his search. Alone in his dream. Alone in the caves of what most of the humanity wouldn't understand. Suddenly Haraku saw the stunning lights of the wide cosmos in front of him. The young man took the last few steps of his journey. In these once again fantastical surroundings of magic and colors, his hands felt the paranormal need to get closer. And closer. Until a beautiful blue flower appeared in them. And then, with the faith of this believer, the flower turned into something special, holding a whole world in itself. It was the final phase of Hiraku's faith. He succeeded and he deserved the award he got a moment later when a shining light filled everything around. The dog. It was running straight to him. The same completely real dog from the memories of a now grown-up child. But as he saw it, another blocked memory returned in Hiraku's mind. It was a vision of his mother taking his dog away from him. Why would she do it? It didn't matter anymore. Because now Haraku was finally reunited with his real dog. On the next morning they both went on another journey together. They couldn't return to Reijin City, so they decided to travel all these places, all these extraordinary worlds. Holding each other even in the darkest moments. And still growing up together. A boy and the best friend he could ever have.